We're joined by Mike and Chester from the very big band in the world. It is Linkin Park. Thanks so much for joining us.
Do you realize that we never do interviews with just the two of us anymore?
I know. This is an exclusive.
This is a big friggin' deal. The other guy, usually we split everything into pairs.
Why is that?
Because we can cover more. No, we can cover more ground. 6 guys in the band. You do me and like Brad and Chester and Joe and then Rob and Dave. Some mix of those groups. But today,
how does it feel to be back together talking about yourselves?
it's there's really nothing.
Mike.
There's really nothing better to talk about.
Well, I was going to talk about something, but let's talk about the Spice Girls.
Yeah, let's.
Have you thought about doing something with the Spice
They sold
Girls?
out like what, Wembley in like 20 seconds or something like that. That's pretty awesome.
You know, that's amazing that you actually followed that information. I had no idea that they were even playing a show.
It was accidentally.
Yeah, okay.
We've
That's
all got a
cool.
soft spot. Who's your
cool.
favorite?
Which one of them?
Yeah.
I always thought that that Ginger was kind of hot, and then I realized that she wasn't. And I was like, what was wrong with me?
Didn't she get
How did
hotter?
that one
Didn't
slip?
she get hotter though?
Well, her body got better.
She
but-
got hotter, and then something happened to her face. I don't know what happened to her face.
Well, things happen, and
Botulism.
something happened to your arm as well on this very tour indeed, and that is the sexiest looking
It
cast
is
I've
sexy,
ever seen.
isn't it?
Sleek, dude. You know, I have to do everything with some kind of style.
It's some Blade Runner shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think they make these in the United States. I think they only make them out here in Australia.
Really?
But yeah, you have to get a big plaster one that ends up stinking, and you have to take the hanger and stick it down.
Yeah, and you got all your friends to sign it.
Yeah.
There's none of that with that one.
No, none of that with this one. Yeah, I attempted to jump off the riser. I do it every night, and this one went horribly wrong, and somehow I went from jumping into just looking like I was a rag doll being flung out of a moving vehicle, and hit the ground with my arm out, like behind me like this, and just kind of.
Everybody's
broke it.
watching. Everybody's watching the replay. Well, not the replay, but some fan footage of that jump.
You'd be stoked
online.
to get taken.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's a great shot of it too. It's really close.
funny
and you
looking,
can
dude.
see him like, flail out into midair. His feet are 5 feet up, so his actual head is like, 11. I don't know what that converts to. It's a couple of meters. You guys use friggin'. Okay.
3
Anyway,
meters.
so
It's a long way.
It's 3 meters plus.
I was
probably
about
up in the air.
this much higher
and
than
he
Mike's head.
goes like this and flies down and hits the ground, and you can see him get up and his adrenaline's going, and he's like, and he's like trying to sing and do his thing. And as you watch, if you watch carefully, you see the adrenaline start to wear off, and he starts missing words because there's like flashes of pain, and he's like, what do I do? And then he starts kind of trying to like shake it off, and it's not working, and he realizes.
Before we talk about Spice Girls, well, Sienna Miller is clearly hotter than any of the Spice Girls really put together.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm glad we covered that off. Now, let's talk about your year as well, Chester, because you also had this horrendous intestinal drama early on in the year where you thought you were in ridiculous pain, and then no one actually worked out what the problem was.
Oh no, that was a few years ago.
Was that a few years ago?
That was years ago. Yeah.
We actually,
But
I mean, to put it in perspective,
I should have looked at the date on that.
I made him a shirt that said, I promised Chester a shirt, and I just finally made it the other day, because all the, stuff that's happened to him, I made him a shirt that says, "Why me?" And
It's pretty awesome.
He just totally deserves the shirt, because the guy had that intestinal thing,
Yeah.
he has had multiple problems with his back and stomach. And usually we don't cancel any dates for most of this stuff. Like we've canceled probably less than 5 dates in our whole career, ever. And that's because the dude just is used to getting broken and powers through it. And he's broken his hand twice, and
Broken
he got
hand twice. Broken
21
wrist.
stitches up his arm. And
We started Project Revolution, and
This year.
just a few months ago,
Huge
I had
deal.
meningitis. I got meningitis
Really?
right before we left.
2 days before we
I was
played
like,
the first show.
I kind of feel like I've got the flu. And like 2 hours later, I was like, I can't open my eyes because like everything hurts so bad.
Convulsing on the floor.
And that was the most pain all over my whole body that I've ever experienced.
And in the States, you did a really big tour, Project Revolution, which is kind of your own baby. And it went all over the place, and you had some incredible people on there. You had Placebo on there.
Yeah.
I mean, how was that? Because you guys are quite the entrepreneurs as well, because you've got all this going on.
It's pretty amazing. I mean, it's a big undertaking to put that show together. But it's this last installment of Project Revolution was, I think it was my favorite. You know, we've taken out a bunch of really great bands like Cypress Hill before, and Korn and Snoop Dogg, and this one, I really felt like we kind of outdone ourselves, and we had My Chemical Romance, Taking Back Sunday, Him, Placebo, Mindless Self-Indulgence. I mean, these are just like some of the coolest bands ever, and it was really cool. The guys from Placebo, by the way, are like, you know, some of the nicest people.
They are. They really are. And they had the
It's a
funniest.
crazy cat, Brian.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
and they had this thing. Like I came out one day of the bus, and in front of the buses, there was like this little tent, and on the front of it had been spray painted Placebo Gazebo.
Oh, really?
And they had made their own like little outdoor oasis with truck stop goodies. It was
Really?
the funniest thing, like a little gnome and a little astroturf and a fence, a white picket fence that's about this tall,
It was
all the way
awesome.
around it. It was so
was
funny.
awesome.
They'd be out there barbecuing and, you know,
Riding their bikes.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
That's genius. Were they the best at sort of supplying you guys with extra catering? Who was the best band at sort of saying, here's a superb sausage sambo?
You know, My Chemical Romance, actually, I would have to say, were the kings of the grill on this tour. Every night without fail, after they played, they would fire up the grills and feed everyone on tour. Like, it seemed like...
Really?
Yeah, I mean, anybody could go. They had, like, endless supplies of sausages and hamburgers and hot dogs and
Vegetarian
whatever, chicken.
options?
Yeah. And they just... That one was...
This album, you guys put so much into it, so much heart and soul, made it such a big sound, really rocky, and then some of the songs, Chester, I mean, like Giving Up, it sounds like your spleen is being ripped out through your nostrils.
That's actually how we accomplished that.
It
It's weird
is?
how you picked that up.
Well, I
You
try.
have a very keen ear.
I do try. It just makes me just wince just thinking about it. What about playing it on stage though? Is it night after night?
Yeah, he doesn't have a spleen anymore. So
No.
We've got to
vocal
just
cords?
improvise.
I just remember I draw from that feeling. No, it's you know, when we did it in the studio and we do it like when we're rehearsing and everything, like I sometimes will do the full scream, but normally during the show, like my adrenaline's pumping, you know, like I've been running around, and it's hard to keep the whole 18 seconds. So I do 9 seconds and then take a quick breath and then do the other 9 seconds.
This is funny because I don't think you were asking about in particular the one scream, but
No, but
Chester's
I was
so hard
that
on
one.
himself. Chester's so hard on himself about that thing in particular.
I want to do the whole
He
scream
wants
so
to do,
bad.
There's an 18-second, for the fans at home who know, there's an 18-second scream in the song, and he does it once in a while, like he's got enough breath and the
Yeah.
adrenaline is down just enough where he can just pull it off. But for the most part, when you're like freaking out and excited and playing a show,
It's all
like
restricted.
yeah, it's not gonna happen.
It's like run around the block as fast as you can, and then try to do anything with one breath for 18
seconds.
seconds.